but still it is kept in a anemia category. So it's a controversial, slightly misleading word here. The combination of decrease or absence of bone marrow precursors and peripheral cytopenias characteristics for the aplastic anemia. Precursor cells are totally absent, and PSA peripheral smear show cytopenias. Okay, that is the feature of aplastic anemia. Slide. Why not destroying? It's not going. क्या हो गया? Just a minute, students. The slides are not moving. What happened? Okay. Now coming to historical aspect. First case reported by Ulrich in 1888. He disturbed a young woman with a fever, bleeding, and severe anemia. Okay. Then the term aplastic anemia was introduced by Vacchius and Albertine in a discussion of a Society of Hospital, Paris in 1904. Now coming to types of aplastic anemia. There are basic two types of aplastic anemia: acquired aplastic anemia and inherited aplastic anemia. First of all, we discuss acquired aplastic anemia. Acquired aplastic anemia, that is occur due to effect of environmental surroundings are affected. That is acquired, not inherited. That is acquired during the lives. That is affected by surrounding viral infection, drugs, and environmental radiations. All things are affected. That's why it's called as acquired aplastic anemia. So what is the epidemiology for the acquired aplastic anemia? The incidence of acquired aplastic anemia in the Western countries is 2 cases per million population and per year. Male, females are equally affected. There are 2 peaks of age. First peak is 15 to 25 year age is affected, and second peak is more than 65 year age affected. Okay, the evaluation of aplastic anemia in children and adult both is different based on the exceptions. That is, a large proportion of children will have an underlying genetic etiology. Okay, in children, cause of aplastic anemia is most common genetic etiology, whereas in adult, cause of acquired aplastic anemia, non-genetic disease. Okay, most commonly, that is a very open view. Children causes mostly aplastic anemia is genetic factor. In adult, aplastic anemia caused due to acquired, okay, non-genetic causes. But that is not a clear-cut boundaries, cannot be clearly defined. It can be variable, okay. Now coming to causes of acquired aplastic anemia, which constitute of 80%. Acquired aplastic anemia make 80% of total aplastic anemias. Okay, and the causes is first is idiopathic. What is the idiopathic? Idiopathic is unknown. Nobody is known. That is idiopathic. Second one is ionizing radiation. Ionizing radiations like bone marrow hypoplasia is observed at a total body exposure between 1 to 25 gay radiations. And other thing is infective causes like such hepatitis virus, Epstein-Barr virus, HIV, parvovirus, mycobacteria. These infections cause aplastic anemia. Drugs and chemicals exposure. PNH is also proximal nocturnal hemoglobinuria, also acquired genetic defect. Okay, is limited to stem cell compartment, affect the PIGA gene, and approximately 20% patients with this aplastic anemia have a evidence of a proximal nocturnal hemorrhagia at the presentation and as detected by means of flow cytometry. And furthermore, patient whose disease respond after the immunosuppressive therapy and frequently recover with the clone hematopoiesis and this PNH. And other thing is the transfusional graft versus host disease, orthoptic liver transplantation with the fulminant hepatitis, in pregnancy, eosinophilic fasciitis, These are the other causes of acquired aplastic anemia. Okay, now coming to the drugs and chemical that is associated with the aplastic anemia. First category is the agent that regularly produce bone marrow depression as a major toxicity in commonly used dose or normal exposure. These drugs are include cytotoxic drug used mostly in a cancer chemotherapy. We use them in a regularly or in a normal doses. Apart it, these drugs suppress the bone marrow and cause cytopenias. Okay. Other drug is this is the benzene and benzene containing chemicals also. And a second type of agent are these agents probably associated with aplastic anemia, but with a relatively low probability and relative to their uses. These drugs have a relatively low probability, like chloramphenicol. Chloramphenicol can be produced by two types. The marrow suppression by in the two way. First, by immunologically, okay, and dose related, both way. It can suppress the bone marrow. Other are insecticides, anti-protozoal drugs like chloroquine, quinaquines, and non-steroidal anti-inflammatory drugs, phenylbutazone, endomethacin, ibuprofen. These are the drugs cause also this marrow suppression and aplastic anemia. Anticonvulsant drugs, hydantoins, carbamazepine. These are the other drugs. Gold related other heavy metals like arsenic, bismuth, mercury. These drugs containing drugs also suppress the bone marrow and cause anemia, aplastic anemia. Sulfonamides class some antibiotic like anti-thyroid drugs like methimazole, methyl thiuracil, propylthiouracil, anti-diabetic drug like tolbutamide, chlorpropamide, and carbonic anhydrase inhibitor like acetazolamide. These are the drugs also cause a bone marrow suppression and pancytopenia. D-penicillamine also estrogens in pregnancy, okay, and high doses in animals used, then it also causes marrow suppression and aplastic anemia. And then third type of agents, these agents are more rarely associated with aplastic anemia, but can cause of anemia, like antibiotics, streptomycin, tetracycline, methicillin. These antibiotics also cause of anemia, but rarely associated. Antihistaminic drugs like ranitidines, cimetidines, and sedatives and tranquilizers. You should try to keep remember them this category wise. Otherwise, the drugs are overlap to each other. Which drug cause a aplastic anemia? And try to keep remember this category wise: antibiotic, antihistaminic, sulfonamide, gold, metal containing drugs. That is cause of this marrow suppression and aplastic anemia. Sedatives, tranquilizers cause aplastic anemias like chlorpromazines. Allopurinol is maybe potentially marrow suppression by cytotoxic drugs. Methyl dopa, quinidine, lithium, thiocyanate. Okay, these are the drugs list in your book also, and try to keep remember is the category wise, so you can remember them. Now coming to pathogenesis of aplastic anemia by viruses. What happened here? The viruses may be directly cytotoxic to bone marrow cells. Okay. Alternatively, viral infection of bone marrow progenitor cells may stimulate an immune response against those cells through activation of cytotoxic lymphocytes, cell surface expression of viral protein, or shared epitopes, leading to an autoimmune reaction. The virus can be direct effect cytotoxic on the bone marrow stem cells. Second one, these stimulate the cytotoxic CD4-8 cells in our body. They can cause further damage the cells. And the other thing is their viral proteins are expression, and the antibodies are developed against these viral protein, and the immune mediate reaction again cause of bone marrow suppression and cytopenias. Okay, the infection of bone marrow stromal cells has also been postulated to compromise the bone marrow microenvironment and result diminish the hematopoiesis. The infection, there is the fibroblast and the stromal cells. These are the stromal microenvironment of a in a bone marrow. There is a hematopoietic stem cell, major and hematopoietic progenitor cells. Okay, and along with there is some stromal cells, fibroblast, and these are the act as the microenvironment for the hematopoietic cells. These also suppressed due to infection. Okay, that's why hematopoiesis also suppressed. Now coming to pathophysiology of aplastic anemia in a acquired type. The hematopoietic stem cells is affected. First of all, there is a low number of bone marrow hematopoietic progenitor cells. What is the marker for the hematopoietic stem cell?
Ma'am, CD34.
CD33.
34.
33 किसने बोला? ये मेरे को स्क्रीन में ना दिखाई नहीं देता है. जल्दी चेक. चलो हाँ, CD34 होता है. ठीक है, कीप रिमेंबर. 33 किसने बोला? CD34 positive stem cell is positive for the CD4. ठीक है, तो CD34 cells number are greatly diminished in bone marrow. It is not clear whether the primary defect in hematopoietic stem cell or is the result of an environmental factor or a immunological attack on the cells. There is a still is controversial. There is no clear cut. There is a decreased number of a hematopoietic stem cell, but it is related to defect in primary cell itself, or it is affected by environmental factor or a immunological factor. Yeah, but the theory immunological factor is mostly supported. Okay, the immunological factors and immunological attack is the suppress the hematopoietic stem cell is mostly supported theory about it, aplastic anemia. And there is reported significant telomerase shortening in the leukocytes of aplastic anemia patient, because the telomerase play important role in a maintaining stable chromosome ends and preventing the chromosomal rearrangement. It is possible that the chromosomal instability may be contribute to progressive marrow aplasia. That is another hypothesis. There is a continuously shortening of a telomerase. That's why the bone marrow stem cells is slowly progressively it's a gone or a aplasia of the stem cells. And there is what is the role of about the hematopoietic stroma and growth factors? Okay, there is a inability of a bone marrow stroma to support a hematopoiesis have been proposed as a potential mechanism underlying aplastic anemia. Some theories also give about that hematopoietic stroma and growth factors are not present, so that are a minimum or decrease in number. That's why the hematopoiesis is decreased, and there is a one of the reason for the supporting reason for the aplastic anemia. Okay. There is a direct evidence of a microenvironmental defect in aplastic anemia patient has not been found. Clear cut, not defined. That microenvironment also play important role to deficiency for the that is cause of aplastic anemia. But after bone marrow transplantation, most of the stromal cell element remain of the host origin and adequately support the donor stem cell. When the we transfuse the donor stem cell, and in the marrow, few elements of host stromal cells are present. Okay, or they adequately support to grow the host stromal cells. So host the stem cell, the donor stem cell. That's why it is not clear there is a microenvironmental defect present or not present in aplastic patients. Okay, when the donor stem cell we transplant, they adequately support it to proliferate the donor stem cells. Bone marrow stromal cells derived from the aplastic anemia patient can support the hematopoiesis of the normal CD34 cells in a culture. Whereas CD34 cells derived from the aplastic anemia patient fail to grow on a normal stromal control cells. Okay, that is the they explain on by their experiment कि इन normal persons पे अगर हम ये लेते हैं सीधे 34 cells तो हेमेटोपोइटिक जो सराउंडिंग स्ट्रोमा है उसको ग्रो करने में हेल्प करता है। फिर जो एप्लास्टिक पेशेंट की हम CD34 स्टेम सेल लेते हैं, ठीक है, तो वो ग्रो करने में फेल हो जाता है, दे आर अनेबल टू proliferate. Okay, so that's why they are telling that there is a defect in a stem. Okay, there is something defect in a stem cell. That's why there is a marrow is not proliferate in a aplastic anemia patient. And another thing is a hematopoietic growth factor production and the plasma level are usually elevated rather than the decrease in the aplastic anemia patient. Okay, growth factor levels are increase in the plasma in the aplastic anemia patient because there is a absence of the hematopoietic cells and our body itself tried to compensate it. Okay, so ultimately the growth factor will increase to compensate. There is a marrow is the hypoplastic, so to proliferate it the compensatory growth factor increase. That's why the hematopoietic growth factor level is there is increased in a aplastic anemia patient. The circulating level of erythropoietin, granulocyte, colony-forming factor, GCSF factor, GM-CSF factor, thrombopoietin, FLT3 ligand are elevated in a patient with the aplastic anemia. Okay, these factors also elevated because they try to compensate the marrow proliferation. Now coming to the role of the hypothesis that is related to immune suppression, immune mediate suppression of the hematopoietic cells in a aplastic anemia, that is supported by this immunosuppression. When we use the immunosuppression in this patient, what happens? Aplastic patient respond with the treatment of antithymocyte globin ATZ, okay, and cyclosporin A. These are the immunosuppressive. Okay, this response to treatment regime that suppress the immune function has flooded current theories of a immune mediate bone marrow suppression as the mechanism of underlying aplastic anemia. That is the best theory. Immune mediate suppression is the best theory and supported theory and explained theory. The cause of aplastic anemia. Okay, there is the activation of the T helper cells. Type 1 cells response have been inferred from a phenotypic characterization of the T cells and excessive production of the interferon and tumor necrotic factor interleukin 2s. Because these cells are these inflammatory markers are secreted by type 1 T helper cells. Okay, the altered immunity result in destruction, especially FAS mediate CD34 cell death and in a activation of intracellular pathway leading to cell cycle arrest. Okay, that is the theory more supported that the immune mediate mechanism is cause of aplastic anemia and there is a defect in a hematopoietic stem cell CD34 positive cells. Now coming to other type of aplastic anemia, that is comprising 20% of aplastic anemia. These are congenital and inherited forms. There are different types of this inherited aplastic anemia. There is a most common cause of Fanconi anemia. Other is a dyskeratosis congenitina, and third is Diamond-Blackford syndrome, Schwachman's diamond syndrome, severe congenital neutropenia, thrombocytopenia, absent-ready, megakaryocytic thrombocytopenia, and other are cartilage, hair hypoplasia, and some minimum. These are very rare syndromes, also associated with the aplastic anemia. Now coming to inherited bone marrow failure. Okay, inherited bone marrow failure syndrome. What happened here? The most obvious clue that the patient with the aplastic anemia has an inherited bone marrow failure lies in the physical examination, which may be featuring unique to each of the syndrome. Each syndrome has some unique features by which we can identify and we can come to know what the reason of anemia, pancytopenia and aplastic anemia in these patients. Okay. These features are include cafe eulate spots. These are the brown patch on the body. Radial ray anomalies in a Fanconi anemia, disc keratosis finger, toenails in a disc keratosis congenital, and abnormal thumbs in a diamond blackfan anemia, and absent radi with a thumb present in thrombocytopenia absent radi. That is also labeled as a TAR. However, some of the IBMF do not have a specific phenotype, and some patients in which the disorder usually associated with a specific phenotype maybe appear normals. All patients not have a specific features, okay? And these have a normal phenotypically, but the genetically is present. There are two challenges with regarding inherited bone marrow failure syndrome. First is patient who appear to be having acquired disorders may in the fact have a genetic one. Second one is the patient with known IBMFs may have a reached adulthood and now need to be managed by a adult hematologist. Now coming to first is the inherited cause of a aplastic anemia or a bone marrow failure syndrome is most common cause of Fanconi anemia. Fanconi anemia is the most common cause for the IBMFS, although approximately 75% of known patients with the Fanconi anemia have a one or more physical abnormality. Many patients appear normal or have a subtle finding may be overlooked, such as a short stature, cafe late spots, and hypoplastic thinner muscles. And what happened in the aplastic anemia? There is a chromosomal breaks syndrome, are a group of genetic disorders that is typically are transmitted in a autosomal recessive mode of inheritance. In culture, the cells from the affected individual exhibit elevated rate of chromosomal breaks or instability, leading to chromosomal rearrangement. The disorder are characterized by defect in a DNA repair mechanism or a genome instability. And the patient with these disorder show increased predisposition to cancer also. Okay. The first syndrome is a Fanconi anemia. Other are this ataxia telangiectasia, Bloom syndrome, and xeroderma pigmentosa. Now coming to epidemiology of a Fanconi anemia. The Fanconi anemia is the most common that is the inheritance form is the autosomal recessive pattern. Male and female are equally affected, and there is no any ethnic restriction. And understood the ethnic restriction? Anybody? Hello?
Ma'am, that it's specific to one race.
Yeah, good. Are you listening? Are you understanding? Hey
Yes,
guys, are you understanding? So to nahi rahe ho na? Okay, I'll ask him the question by name. Now start. Okay, in aplastic anemia, this is the heterozygote carrier state, and there is a oral incidence is 1 out of 300 in Europe and USA. The mean age of presentation is the 7 to 9 year age. 75% cases diagnosed mostly 4 to 14 year age. However, aplastic anemia diagnosed in neonates as well as in age of 40s also. Okay. The phenotypically variability occur even within families also. That is depend its type of genes. Which type of the gene is inherited? It have a different type of gene. We will discuss later on. What are the physical findings in a Fanconi anemia? The physical findings of the Fanconi anemia patients like skeletal abnormalities, short stature, radial anomalies like thumb, hand, and forearm, microcephaly, hip and spine anomalies, the skin changes like hyper and hypopigmentation, genitourinary abnormality like renal anomalies and hypogonadism. Craniofacial abnormalities include hypothalamic, ophthalmic anomalies, microophthalmia, epicanthal folds, and ear abnormalities, anomalies like external and internal ear anomalies and deafness, gastrointestinal anomalies and cardiac malformation also present. That the picture is showing typical radial ray anomalies. Anybody can explain me what are the anomalies in this picture?
Ma'am, the thumb is
Anybody?
absent. In X-ray, the radius bone will also be
Good.
absent.
Okay, good.
And ma'am, the circulation also looks less because the hands are not erythematous, which means it could be a PVD as well.
Okay, and
No,
the
palm creases
hypoplastic
are also not
thinner
there in
muscles.
PVD.
The hypoplastic thinner muscles also, no? That is not
Yes.
okay, not equivalent to us. They are hypoplastic there, okay? There is a flattened line. There appears as a mostly flattened type. Okay. Now coming to the Fanconi anemia is autosomal recessive disorder, and it have a 11 of more than 12 Fanconi anemia gene that have been clamped to the date. 12 gene till date is clamped in the Fanconi anemia, and the Fanconi anemia gene that called as FAG product is collaborated in a complicated pathway whose ultimate role in a repair of DNA damage. There are intermediate steps involving the formation of the complex of a proteins, form a FANCA, FANCB, CCE. These are the intermediate steps to formation of various type protein, which in turn catalyzed by ubiquitin of a downstream protein product of a FNCD2, which can then participate in a DNA damage response foci that include other gene products such as BRCA1, AT, NBS, MAL11, etc. Okay, the story is further is complicated by the identification of a FNA-CD1 as the BRCA2 and a FANCJ. This is a BRIP1 which interact with the BRCA1. FNC1 have been identified but not yet clamped. With these patients, Fanconi anemia patients are very susceptible for the other cancers also, breast cancers also. The BRCA1 and BRCA2 are the cancer related to breast cancer. Okay, so these patients also, because what happened in Fanconi anemia, there is a damage of chromosomal damage, and there is a defect in repairing the DNA repair, and there is a defect, further defect in ubiquitin protein. When the DNA is damaged, ubiquitin protein is, what did the ubiquitin protein? It cleared it, but there is a defect in ubiquitin protein. That's why it is not cleared, and the damaged DNA become susceptible to for other malignancy and other syndromes for other malignancy. That's why these patients are susceptible for the breast cancers. That is table showing the Fanconi anemia. This is the group. This is A, B, C, D, D1, D2, E, F, G, H, G, I, J, K, L, M. These J, L, M. These are the groups and these related genes. The D1 is the related to BRCA2. Okay, and oral frequency most common is the FNACA. Type group is the most common. Second most common is group C. Okay, and third most common group, and all are located autosomal chromosome is the one is the B is located on X chromosomes. Keep remember these only. Thus, the researchers screening test for the most of the Fanconi anemia cases utilize Western blot, in which an antibody to FNACD2 can distinguish presence or absence of D2 itself, as well as the monoubiquitinated long form initially D2 protein, that is a show protein. Okay, in a normal individual with the an intact FA pathway, ubiquitin is added to D2 protein. The Western blot show 2 bands, while in the Fanconi anemia patient there will be only 1 band. If the Fanconi anemia is there is a defect is before the ubiquitination steps. Western blot method used for detection in the Fanconi anemia, the detection of an antibody against the this ubiquitination pathway. Okay, normally we found that 2 bands, but in a Fanconi anemia we found only 1 band because defect in the ubiquitination pathway. Now coming the risk that is related to these syndromes. This is a syndrome we will discuss step by step. Mostly there is Fanconi anemia that is associated with leukemia, acute myeloid leukemia, other cancer also related like squamous cell carcinoma, gynecological, esophageal, brain tumors. Disc keratosis congenita also related. These all syndrome related to acute myeloid leukemia. Okay, the disc keratosis congenita that is associated head, neck, and genital carcinomas. Diamond black fun are related to osteogenic carcinoma. Okay, and all syndromes are related to acute myeloid leukemia. Patient with the Fanconi anemia have an increased risk development of the myelodysplastic syndrome and acute myeloid leukemia. Overall incidence of the MDS is estimated 5%, and the incidence of AML is 10% in these Fanconi patients. The cumulative risk of development MDS or AML is increased with the increasing the age. With the actual risk is 52% by the age of 40 years. Is the age increase, the incidence of oral malignancy also increase like AML or MDS. Now coming to laboratory finding of the aplastic Fanconi anemia patients. The PS picture relatively is the unremarkable, except we can see the macrocytosis and mild anisocytosis. Okay, understand the meaning of anisocytosis? Anybody understand? Understand the meaning of this? Hello? What's the
Red
meaning?
blood cells are sizes and hence the distribution width is high.
That is related to speak. And anisocytosis is related to
I read it under iron deficiency anemia.
अरे हाँ आयरन डिफिशियंसी एनीमिया में तो होता है बट व्हाट रिप्रेजेंटेड व्हाट द मीनिंग ऑफ एनाइसोसाइटोसिस
Ma'am, different sizes of the RBC.
That is related to size. Okay, different sizes. Okay, poikilocytosis.
Ma'am, different
What is the-
shapes of RBCs.
Different shape.
Very good. Different shape. That is related to different shape. Okay. Okay, there is a thrombocytopenia or leukopenia typically persist anemia. That's why these patients are note is typically labeled as the pancytopenia because step by steps. Initially they present thrombocytopenia or leukopenia, later on anemia. Or yeah, other these patients present anemia, slowly progressively these present leukopenia, then thrombocytopenia. Okay, their presentation is like that. Pancytopenia generally worse over time, slowly progressively become very worst. Erythrocyte macrocytosis and increased hemoglobin F level, fetal hemoglobin levels may be present even in absence of the cytopenia. If there is a not present cytopenia, but these patients have an increased macrocytosis, present initially presentation, and increased fetal hemoglobin level also. In absence of the cytopenia, cytopenia is not present, but fetal hemoglobin level and PS show macrocytosis. Macrocytosis to समझ, did you understand the macrocytosis?
Ma'am, slide is not changing.
Increase in the size.
Size they increase. What is the normal size of RBC? MCV normal MCV. What is the normal MCV?
Ma'am, 80 to 100.
Ma'am, 80 to 100
femtoliter.
Femtoliter. Okay. Keep remember the units always. So what is the meaning of 80 to 100 liter, meter, milligram? Okay, femtoliter. That size more than 100. Here the RBC size. And what findings are the bone marrow biopsy? The bone marrow biopsy finding is vary from normal cellularity to frank aplasia. Initially it can be normal, later on slowly progressively become frank aplasia. That's why the morphology of bone marrow is variable. Morphology examination of the bone marrow aspirate may show dysplastic feature with a nuclear cytoplasmic maturation, discoordinate and dyserythropoiesis with a multinucleated forms or a nuclear fragmentation may be seen. What happened?
Ma'am, your slide is not changing.
Not changing. Which
yes, ma'am.
slide
The risk of it is still on the risk of neoplasia and in inherited bone marrow formation.
So why not you tell me? My slide is here. Laboratory findings of Fanconi anemia. Okay, I'll check.
Ma'am, it's still on the table
You are
only.
looking that. Only you are looking that. That slide. Are you looking that slide?
Yes, ma'am, it is still, yes, ma'am, that slide only, risk of neoplasia, in which the table is given, Fanconi's anemia, dyskeratosis, congenital.
Okay, okay. अब इसके बाद कोई slide नहीं आया? Next
No,
slide is
ma'am.
not come.
No, ma'am.
Okay. The slide is visible.
No, ma'am, not yet.
Not yet. What happened? And now, what slide are you looking?
The same slide. Ma'am, actually, earlier there was a bit lag in the network, but now it is
Okay.
still stuck only for a long time.
Okay, then I'll start to again share. Okay. Then my network is connected. The sharing also not showing. No problem. We will again. I'll share. And the laboratory. The slides are looking or not looking. I'll show that slide. That slide looking or not looking?
No, ma'am.
Ma'am,
Still
right
not
now it
looking.
is showing the attendees only.
Which slides are visible now?
No slide.
No slide.
Yes, ma'am.
Stop sharing option. Okay, then I'll start to again show. Stop करके again मैं share करती हूँ आपको. Share करती हूँ again. अभी show हो रहा है?
Yes, ma'am. Now it is showing laboratory.
अभी show कर रहा है?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. चल. ये move करता है कि नहीं करता वो भी मुझे बताना. It's क्या हो जाता है बार-बार. It's not moving now. It's not moving now. Again, it is not moving. Now move, slide move.
Yes, ma'am.
Yes, ma'am. Patient with FA, that is true.
Let's go back slide, not a front slide. I'll try. मैंने कोशिश कर ली. It's a vision for it. I don't know. Now it is moved. Slide is moved or not moved? Hello.
Yes,
Yes,
ma'am.
ma'am. It
Yes,
changed.
ma'am. Laboratory finding.
Okay. Okay. I'm on this slide now. The bone marrow findings. I'm telling you what are the bone marrow findings of in this patient. These are the normal cellularity to frank anemia. Initially, it can be presented as the normal cellularity, but slowly and progressively, the bone marrow gone totally aplasia. Okay, and also show the morphological findings like bone marrow aspirate show dysplasia. Okay, dysplasia. Understand the meaning of dysplasia? Dyserythropoiesis, dysgranulopoiesis, dysmegakaryopoiesis. Understand this? Okay. Did you understand or not understand?
Yes, ma'am.
What? Tell me then.
Ma'am, dysplasia means when there's abnormal development of cells. Like squamous का था तो कुछ और abnormal सी shape का बन गया.
Yeah. Okay. Dysplasia. That is a normal feature. Say it's a diverted. Okay, the dyserythropoiesis, normal erythropoiesis to become a dyserythropoiesis. Microerythrocytes, binucleated, bifurcated, internuclear breathing. That's why the dyserythropoiesis, dysgranulopoiesis. There is a defect in granulocyte, like a neutrophils show multiple lobes, nuclear lobulation, hypolobulation, hypergranulation. That is a dysgranulopoiesis. Similarly, dysmegakaryopoiesis. There is a defect in a megakaryocyte maturation. Okay, that's why they also show hypolobulation. Okay, small lobes, the megakaryocyte become a very small, and single lobe show, there are two lobes show megakaryocyte. So this megakaryopoiesis. So the aplastic anemia, they also show some little bit dyserythropoiesis. There is also multinucleated cells, also nuclear fragmentation also noted. Okay, that is some extent dyserythropoiesis also present in aplastic anemia patients. Bone marrow aspirate should be sent for the cytogenetic analysis, as the Fanconi anemia patient are the higher risk for the malignant transformation. That's why we should send bone marrow aspirate for the cytogenetic analysis. Again, again it's stopped. But I again it's stopped. Check what happened. Now it move. Hello.
Yes,
Slide
ma'am.
Yes,
moved or not moved? Moved. Okay. The usual test for is the determination of increased chromosomal bricks in a mitogen, stimulated peripheral blood lymphocyte after culture in the presence of DNA cross-linker, such as a di-epoxy butane or a mitomycin C. Mostly these drugs are used in a metaphase when the cell cycle divided, and that is stopped during the metaphase, and we see the chromosomes. How do they separate it? They are a normal or a abnormal. So these are the drugs we use to see them: di-epoxy butane and mitomycin C. However, at least 10% patient of with Fanconi anemia have a hematopoietic somatic mutation, somatic mosaicism also. Okay, there's a defect in somatic cells also. We read in genetic class, mosaicism. We read. Did you remember or forgot?
yes, ma'am, remembered.
Remember, it's okay. In which there have been molecular genetic correction in the stem cell, leading to reversion to normal in a one allele, which in turn confirm a growth advantage to progeny of the stem cell. Thus, if the Fanconi anemia is strongly suspected, the skin biopsy is required for determination of chromosomal breakage in a cultured fibroblast. If we are suspecting any patient of the Fanconi anemia, we should be send a sample, sample from the skin biopsy to looking the chromosomal break in a fibroblast. Okay. Again, it's stored. That is a figure is showing when we suspect a Fanconi anemia, we should do blood chromosome break test. Okay. If there is an abnormal, blood chromosome break test is abnormal, then we think it a Fanconi anemia, and we should refer this patient to hematologist or genetics or other specialist. Okay. If the chromosomal break test is a normal, then we clinically strongly suspicious. Then we should take a skin fibroblast to look at chromosomal break test. Okay, if there is a present, then abnormal result, then it's a Fanconi anemia. If the results are normal, we should look other diagnosis. Okay, there is a other region or other causes for aplastic anemia. What happened? Okay, see in this picture, what happened in this Fanconi anemia patient? There is a chromosomal breaks. the red arrow. Are you looking? The slide is moved or not moved?
Yes, ma'am.
Yes,
Yes.
ma'am.
This figure is visible. The red
Yes.
arrow is showing
Yes.
chromosomal bricks, okay? And the green circle is showing radial formation. The bricks chromosome fusion to each other and form a radial formation, okay? When the Fanconi anemia cells are treated with mitomycin, harvest in metaphase. I told you, we looking the chromosome abnormality, we should fix the cell cycle in metaphase, okay? So that we can see these chromosomes separately and the abnormality of chromosomes, okay? So typical abnormality in seen the green circle and the red arrow are showing. And that is also another picture. The black arrow is showing chromosomal breaks. That is slide oral summary, but here I am discussing only what is the Fanconi anemia, the diagnosis, the hemoglobin patient hemoglobin level is less than 8 gram and absolute neutrophil count 1000 cubic millimeter, platelet counts less than 30,000 cubic millimeter. This patient treated with androgens like oxymethoxone or a GCSF units. Also treated with the packed red cells or a platelet when we need it. And other method of treatment is bone marrow transplantation or cord bloods. But the improvement is very rare. Now coming to other disorder, dyskeratosis congenita. That is also known as the telomerase biology disorder. In short, DC. DC is another cause of inherited bone marrow failure syndrome, in which majority of the patient are actually diagnosed adult in an adult patient, and they have a typical features of triad like dyskeratosis, dyskerotic nails, lacy reticular rashes, oral leukoplakia, often developed during the teen or a young adult age. These patients do not respond to immunosuppression and following an apparently successful stem cell may be developed finding that is the resemble chronic graft versus host disease, but are actually these are the hallmark of DC. These patients like Fanconi anemia also respond very rarely, but a little bit. But these patients are not respond to immunosuppressive and this stem cell transplantation also. The abnormal nails are often first sign this dyskeratosis congenita syndromes, but may be misinterpreted as a fungal infection in the neutropenic patient. Another early sign is epiphora from the lacrimal duct stenosis. What is the epiphora?
Nasal bleeding.
Huh?
Excessive tear
Eyes
formation.
nickel tears.
Excessive
Tear formation.
tear from lacrimal gland. तो nasal कैसे बोला? Lacrimal gland तो eye भी होएगा ना? ठीक है? Excessive tearing from a lacrimal glands, that is called a epiphora. That's a clinical terminology. When you will go to clinical classes, you will look epiphora present or not present in the patient. Okay, that is the table showing you the clinical feature of this dyskeratosis congenita syndrome. Skin pigmentation, that table in your book, try to keep remember. Having a these the features: nail dystrophy, malignancy, bone marrow failure, intrauterine growth retardation, leukoplakia, gastrointestinal disorder, epiphora, ataxia. That is the hypogonadism, pulmonary disease, microcephaly, short stature, urethral stricture, dental caries, osteoporosis, esophageal stricture, and hair loss, deafness. These are the clinical manifestation of dyskeratosis congenita. Okay. The dyskeratosis DC syndrome is X-linked recessive, but it can be transmitted autosomal dominant and recessive form also. Few forms are present like that. And the family history is very informative in this patient. We should take a family history also. Okay, the majority of male cases that appear to be X-linked are due to mutation in the XQ28 in a DCK1, which codes the protein dyskeratin, a protein that is involving in telomerase maintenance pathway. That's why we are calling it is the telomerase biology syndrome, because there is a defective in this protein and that is responsible for maintenance the telomeres. Some of the patient is a autosomal dominant family have a mutation in 3q26. That is the gene is TERC, the RNA template in the telomerase complex. In many of the DC families have a relevant gene appear. Neither DKC1 nor TERC. Some families में both gene are absent. However, and no mutation gene have been identified for the family that appear to be autosomal recessive. Both are absent. Then the other third thing is autosomal recessive. Slide is moving or not moving? Hello.
Yes, ma'am.
Hello. It's moved. Okay, there is a time is short.
Yes.
I'll take it sometimes because I'll wait for you 5 minutes. Okay. I'll take 5 minutes more. Okay. Although there is a DC share many clinical features with the Fanconi anemia like leptonestic anemia or plaquia, cancer predisposition. Cells from the DC patients do not manifest increased chromosomal breakage in response to mitomycin and DEB. Okay, that is a different feature from the Fanconi anemia. In addition to peripheral cytopenias, red cell macrocytosis and elevated fetal hemoglobin may be seen patient with this. That is a common feature. Macrocytosis and elevated fetal hemoglobin we also seen in a Fanconi anemia patient also. Okay, the management of the DC patient is the similar to that is the Fanconi anemia. The first line therapy is usually androgens and followed by GCSF alone or with the erythropoietin. We manage this patient. While the stem cell is tempering, the result have until recently been quite poor. These patients are not responding with hematopoietic stem cell. Now coming to other disorders, Diamond-Blackfan anemia. That syndrome is equally present in men and female. The age of presentation is 0 to 5 years. Most of 90% patient is diagnosed first year of their life. Okay, what is the genetics of this syndrome? This is transmitted by autosomal dominant pattern, and the mutant gene are the small ribosomal protein RPS19 that is found in 25% cases. Okay, what are the clinical features of this patient? This patient have a short stature, abnormal thumb, hypoplastic or a tripharyngeal or a underdeveloped thinner muscles. What are the lab findings of this patient? This patient have a macrocytosis, anemia, reticulocytopenia, elevated fetal hemoglobin level, erythroid hypoplasia in bone marrow, and this patient also have a risk to develop of the MDS, acute myeloid leukemia and solid tumors. What are the diagnostic tests for this? There is an elevated red cell level of ADA, adenosine deaminase enzyme level, increase in this patient. Okay. Now coming to another disorder, that is a Ishchua-Kman syndrome. Slightly, the pronunciation very difficult. In this syndrome, what happened? Male and female are equally affected. Age of presentation is 0 to 5 years, and on genetics, these are inherited by autosomal recessive pattern. The gene is SBDS that is located on chromosome 7q11, and the clinical manifestation of these patients are short statures, have a metaphyseal disorders in 50% patient, malabsorption due to deficiency of pancreatic enzymes. Okay, and what are the lab findings? This patient have a neutropenia. It should be documented at least 3 times. Okay, and myeloid hypoplasia in a bone marrow. These patients also have a risk for development of MDS or AML. And the diagnostic test for this disorder is decrease the serum trypsinogen and isoamylase level. Decrease serum level. These are. That is diagnostic test for it. And another disorder is severe congenital neutropenia. That is also present equally in male and female. Age of presentation is 0 to 1 year, and the genetics is inherited by autosomal dominant pattern, neutrophil elastase gene, ELA2, and GFI1 is the defective gene that is related to for it. The clinical manifestation these patients have a severe infection in infancy because they have severe neutropenia. Absolute neutrophil count is less than 200 cubic millimeter in this patient, and promyelocytic arrest in bone marrow. This patient also have a risk to develop MDS and ML, and there is no typical diagnostic test for the severe congenital neutropenia, but there is a neutropenia left finding is typical. Another disorder is thrombocytopenia absent ready. That is the TAR. That is also equally present in male and female. Age of presentation it's 0. Early age group is present, and inherited by autosomal recessive pattern, and there is a clinical manifestation absent ready with the thumb present. Okay, radial bone is absent but thumb is present here, and these patients have a thrombocytopenia usually improve with the age. And totally aplasia is absent in here, and decreased megakaryocyte in bone marrow. Okay, these patients have a risk to development of a AML, and diagnostic test is arm X-ray. This is absent radius bone. Another disorder is megakaryocytic thrombocytopenia, also known as congenital megakaryocytic thrombocytopenia, CAMT. Okay, that is also present equally male and female. Age of presentation 0 to 5. The word genetics is autosomal recessive inheritance. There is a biallele mutation present in thrombopoietin receptor CMPL, locate on a chromosome 1p34. Clinically manifestation, the clinical features of this patient present is a petechiae. What is the petechiae? Did you understand the petechiae?
Yes, ma'am. Like because of thrombocytopenia, there's bursting of the capillaries, which leads to purplish reddish spots on the skin. Petechiae.
Yeah, small rashes all over the body. Okay, it is a petechiae, but that is not due to capillaries, because that is due to thrombocytopenia. Okay, capillaries की वजह से क्या होगा, जो vasculitis है, ठीक है, microangiopathy, hemolytic anemias. Okay, these are the cause of vascular region. Here the reason is thrombocytopenia. Okay. Left finding thrombocytopenia. This patient have thrombocytopenia, high level of TPO serum level because it tried to compensate it. So the counter hormones always elevated. Decreased megakaryocyte in bone marrow. These patients also have a risk for aplastic anemia, MDS, and leukemia. There is no typical diagnostic test for it. Another disorder is GATA deficiency syndrome. Here, what is the genetics? These are inherited by autosomal dominant, also deficiency of DCML gene, and there is a defective gene is GATA gene that is located TQ20N chromosomes. That syndrome also associated monomac syndromes, Embarger syndromes, and familial AML and CML also, CMML, chronic myelomonocytic leukemia. Okay, and the clinical features are lymphedema and recurrent infections. Bone marrow findings. What are the bone marrow findings? These are bone marrow is hypocellular, dysplastic megakaryocytes, and decreased number of the NK cells and B cells also. And the diagnostic test for there is a detection of GATA mutation by DNA sequencing. Okay, GATA2 sequencing. Now coming to how to diagnose the patient of aplastic anemia. First of all, we should take a patient complete history. Okay, patient complete history, its clinical feature, physical finding, family history. Okay, that is very important to diagnose for the aplastic anemia patient. The clinical presentation of patient is aplastic anemia include symptoms are related to decrease in the bone marrow production, hematopoietic cells. The onset is insidious, and initially symptoms related to anemia or a bleeding, although the fever or the infections also often noted at a presentation. कल class में कोई discuss कर रहा था insidious. What is the meaning of insidious? Class में कोई somebody is asking about the insidious.
Intermediate between acute and chronic.
Meaning slowly progressively. Okay, that is not a very fast. Okay, that is a slowly progressive disease. There is an insidious onset. Okay, that is a slowly progressive. It starts slowly and slowly it's a progressive. That's why the onset is the symptoms of the aplastic anemia is Initially, slowly, it's going to anemia. Say later on, there's a bleeding, the thrombocytopenia, so it start to bleeding, and then is the neutropenia, that is followed the infections. That is related to each and every pathology is related to underlying cause. Anemia may be manifest as the pallor, or a headache, palpitation, dyspnea, fatigueness, foot swellings. Okay, thrombocytopenia may result mucosal and gingival bleeding, petechiae rashes. Okay, rashes, petechiae rashes. In your higher classes will to come. I think vasculitis related changes. I think systemic pathology you will read. Okay, that is vasculitis related. And here I am discussing petechiae with the related to thrombocytopenia. Neutropenia may be manifested overt infections, recurrent infection, mouth and pharyngeal ulceration. That is due to neutropenia. So all symptoms are related to underlying deficiency of neutropenia, thrombocytopenia, or anemia. Although the researchers for an etiology agent is often unproductive and appropriately detailed a work of history with the emphasis on the solvent and radiation exposure should be obtained. Any patient is working in a factories or in a place there is excessive radiation exposure and a patient of a malignancy, already radiotherapy and chemotherapy is taken. So this history is also very important to rule out what the reason of the anemia in this patient is, a plastic anemia or a pancytopenia. So the history is very important, as should family history, environmental, travel, infection, disease. These history are also important in this patient. The absence of obvious phenotypic features, the presentation of the patient with an inherited bone marrow failure syndrome is subtle, and so family history maybe first suggests the condition. If there are any, we think about this inherited bone marrow failure syndrome, the family history is always first clue to help us to diagnose a patient. With the regarding to environmental agents, the time course of the aplastic anemia and exposure to offending agent varies greatly, and only rarely environmental etiology is identified. Now coming to differential diagnosis of a pancytopenia. Pancytopenia with a hypocellular bone marrow. It's an acquired aplastic anemia. Other is inherited bone marrow failure syndrome. We're discussing now this Fanconi anemia, dyskeratosis congenital syndromes, megakaryocytic thrombocytopenia. Okay, and other is the hypoplastic myelodysplastic syndrome, virus associated aplastic anemia. Virus also cause a severe aplastic anemia, parvovirus, HIV. Okay. Primary bone marrow disease, pancytopenia with the cellular bone marrow. They asked you, okay, I kept make a slide for you like that, pancytopenia with the hypocellular bone marrow. What are the example? Okay, pancytopenia hai along with hypocellular marrow. What are the example? Acquired aplastic anemia, inherited disorder, hypoplastic syndrome, and virus related. Another is pancytopenia with the cellular bone marrow. What are the example for it? The first is primary bone marrow disease like malignancy, myelodysplasia, myelofibrosis, paroxysmal nocturnal hemoglobinuria, acute myelogenous leukemia, acute lymphoblastic leukemia, hemophagocytic lymphohistiocytosis, osteopetrosis. These are the example of pancytopenia with cellular marrow. Okay. This is a primary disorder. Secondary disorder of systemic, that is involved with bone marrow, like metastatic solid tumor, autoimmune disorder like SLE, Sjogren's syndrome, nutritional and toxic disorder like B12 deficiency, folate deficiency, megaloblastic anemia also present as the pancytopenia, but marrow is cellular. Okay, alcoholism, infections like severe infections and sepsis, viral infection, brucellosis, and there is a miliary tuberculosis also cause. Storage disorders like Gaucher's disease, Niemann-Pick disease, sarcoidosis, and hypersplenism. So, hello. And there are only few slides are remaining. How we evaluate the patient of the aplastic anemia. First of all, we should do complete blood cell count and differential count, okay? And define the severity of aplastic anemia. On a morphology, define the abnormal cells. If there is a presence of blast and storage cells, they are less likely to aplastic anemia, okay? It may be other than the aplastic anemia. Other presence of there is a blast and immature cells, these are indicate the other cause of aplastic pancytopenia than the aplastic anemia. B12 deficiency. Reticulocyte count. Define the severity. How much the reticulocyte count and different production and destruction. Second one is bone marrow biopsy. To assess the cellularity and to assess the architecture. Presence of granuloma, fibrosis, hemophagocytosis, infiltrative or a metastatic disease. That is we can evaluate by bone marrow biopsy. Bone marrow aspirate. Third one is that is morphology. We differentiate malignant versus benign disease or a storage disease, hemophagocytosis or any congenital disorders. Cytopenias like we differentiate from the myelodysplasia. Culture like infective agent, tuberculosis and virus. Other diagnostic tests for a DNA and antigen based viral test. Peripheral blood studies like we should do LFT, RFTs for SGOT, GPT, gamma, ZT, bilirubin to evaluate the hepatitis, okay? Blood urea, nitrogen, creatinine to assess the chronic renal failure, serological test to evaluate the for the HIV, hepatitis, okay? And Epstein-Barr virus infection, HEMS test, fluorescence activity cell storage to evaluate for a PNS, and chromosomal brick study by mitomycin C and dipoxybutane to assess the Fanconi anemia. Autoimmune disease evaluation, we should do evidence there is a collagen vascular disease SLEs like histocompatibility testing to establish the potential transport, that is potentially transplant donor, because hematopoietic stem cell transplantation we require a histocompatibility test. HLA-MH, complete HLA-MH is present, then it's the successful hematopoietic stem cell transplantation occur, okay? Other is the fetal hemoglobin level, there is an increase like Fanconi anemia and DC syndromes. Bone marrow aspiration and biopsy. Bone marrow biopsy is performed in addition to aspiration to assess the cellularity both qualitative and quantitatively. In aplastic anemia, the specimens are hypocellular. Aspiration sample alone may appear hypocellular because the technical reasons. Sometimes it can be technical error, okay? Not if the aspiration, bone marrow aspiration, we found only dry tape and only blood tape. It can be due to technical error. Anybody see how do this bone marrow aspiration and biopsy? Anybody seen? Hello? Hello? Hello?
No, ma'am, we haven't seen.
Okay, why not responding? Okay, because you are not going in clinical posting now, you will go in clinical posting when you will see. So there is a always not meaning of if there is a bone marrow aspiration is a dry tape or a blood tape. Only blood is aspirated, dry tape matlab there is nothing is aspirated. It can be technical error also, okay? So bone marrow biopsy is help in this condition. If the aspiration is the dry tape and or a blood tape, in this condition mein bone marrow biopsy help करेगा, ठीक है? That is help to evaluate the bone marrow cellularity. It's a normal, is a hypocellular, okay? So technical reasons can be diluted to the peripheral blood. They may be appear this is a hypercellular because of area focally residual hematopoiesis and mixed with the blood. By comparison, core biopsy better reveal the cellularity. That's why bone marrow biopsy is also required additional to aspiration. The specimen is considered hypocellular if it is cellularity is less than 30%, cellularity in a normal individual less than 60 year. If it is less than 20% in those more than 60 year. Hypocellularity defined, कब define करेंगे? When the cellularity is less than 30% of normal individual. एक normal individual का cellularity इतना है, उससे less than 30% है, then we called it a hypocellular less than 30-year age, less than 60-year age, or more than 60-year age group patients, if the cellularity is less than 20% of normal person, then we called it the hypocellular marrow. A relative or absolute increase in a mast cell number may also observe in a hypoplastic speckles. Mast cell number also increased in this patient, okay? Aplastic anemia. A proportion of a bone marrow lymphocyte, more than 70% is correlated with the poor prognosis in aplastic anemia. Overall, when we are doing the bone marrow aspirate and counting the cells, their number is increased. Lymphocytes, that is more than 70%, that is indicate the poor prognosis in this aplastic anemia patient. Some dyserythropoiesis with the megaloblastosis may be observed in aplastic anemia. I already told you, this erythropoiesis also present in a aplastic anemia patient. That is the bone marrow biopsy picture. Okay, that is a bone marrow biopsy picture. Did you identify what is looking in this picture? Anybody can see? The pink is the bony spicules. Okay, the pink green. The empty spaces, the fat spaces. The small dotted are looking. These are the hematopoietic cells. What are we are looking here? Only the fat spaces maximally increase, okay, and only the small focal area is showing the hematopoietic cells. That's why it's called a hypocellular marrow in aplastic anemia. Anybody want to ask? Anybody want to ask? Hello.
मैम प्लीज ये वाली स्लाइड फिर से बताना, पिंक वाला बोनी एंड व्हाइट वाला फैटी।
ये जो पिंक है वो क्या है? बोनी स्पेकुल्स है। जब हम बोन मैरो बायोप्सी करते हैं ना, तो एक छोटा सा बोन का टुकड़ा बाहर निकालते हैं, ठीक है, फिर उसको कट करते हैं ना, हिस्टोपैथोलॉजी में उसको क्या करते हैं? प्रोसेस करते हैं, कट करते हैं। तो उसमें हम जब देखते हैं तो पिंक जो दिख रहा है ना, वो क्या है? बोनी स्पेकुल्स है, बोन है ये, ठीक है। और जो खाली एम्प्टी स्पेसेस है ना, वो क्या है? फैट स्पेसेस हैं। और इसमें आपको छोटे छोटे डॉटेड दिख रहे हैं ना, वो क्या है? हेमेटोपोइटिक सेल्स हैं, ठीक है। तो ये क्या, ये जो बायोप्सी में आपको दिखा रही हूँ है एप्लास्टिक एनीमिया की, तो यहाँ पे मैक्सिमम क्या है? फैट स्पेसेस इंक्रीज है, हेमेटोपोइटिक सेल्स आर बहुत मिनिमम है। ये जो छोटे छोटे सेल्स कुछ डॉटेड दिख रहे हैं, ओनली लिम्फोसाइट्स हैं, बहुत कम है, ठीक है। अगर इसको मैं कंपेयर करती हूँ नॉर्मल पर्सन से, तो दैट देन इट कॉल्ड एज ए, मैं नॉर्मल की ओर लाती ना तो आपको ज्यादा अच्छे से समझ गया, फॉरवर्ड होगी, आगे अगली बार दिखाएंगे, ठीक है। तो ये हाइपोसेलुलर है, ओके। तब आपको थोड़ा रियलाइज होता है कि किसको हाइपोसेलुलर मैडम बोल रही है और किसको नहीं बोल रही है, ओके। तो हियर वी आर लुकिंग द एम्प्टी स्पेसेस, दैट इज अ फैट स्पेसेस, and the marrow, the hematopoietic cells is totally suppressed, okay. Now coming here, last slide only. The staging aplastic anemia is based on the criteria of the International Aplastic Anemia Staging Group that is given in 1983. Also is classified as anemia, severe aplastic anemia, where severe aplastic anemia or a no severe anemia, that is not included any criteria, okay. What are the finding for the bloods and what are the finding for the bone marrow? For the blood findings, the neutrophils are less than 500 cubic millimeter, okay. Platelet count less than 20,000 per cubic millimeter, and absolute reticulocyte count less than 1%, if we taking in a percentage, and absolute reticulocyte count less than 40,000 per cubic millimeter, okay. And marrow findings show severe hypocellularity, as I show in your this picture. And the moderate hypocellularity with the hematopoietic cells are represent less than 30% of residual cells. Based on these criteria, severe aplastic anemia is defined as any 2 or 3 peripheral blood criteria or either bone marrow criteria. In which two criteria is more than sufficient for a diagnosis. Severe neutropenia less than 500 or platelet less than 20, या reticulocyte, absolute reticulocyte count less than 40,000, okay, and additional bone marrow hypocellularity, that is diagnostic for the severe aplastic anemia. Further subclassification is developed after they recognize that the individual with the neutrophil count is lower than 200, less than 200 micro per liter, that is called a very severe aplastic anemia, okay. This group is less likely to than the other respond to immunosuppressives. And that is I think that is the last slide. This is a summary of this. You can in your book also that slide present. That is a summary. In this slide, we can see when we treat the patient, what are the pharmaceuticals and what should. The pharmaceuticals we use androgens, oxymethazone, GCSF unit mostly, and transfusion packed red cells and platelet when we required, and stem cell transplantation from bone marrow or cord blood. The results mostly these are not respond. This Diamond-Blackfan syndrome respond in 25% cases, and the thrombocytopenia ascended. These patients are mostly respond. Otherwise, these most of the patients are not to respond. Okay. Okay. Yeah, slides again. Okay. Thank you. Now give me your written. Did you understand or not understand the aplastic anemia?